week or so has been huge. That's when it's like zero people wanting to come out and be exposed to being able to be picked up, whether they're legal or illegal.
Farmer Nick Billman from Donna says ICE raids have caused people to not go to work, leaving farmers without any help. Yesterday, President Donald Trump acknowledged his immigration policies are affecting U.S. farmers and says he's considering an executive order to help farmers stay afloat. Our Jorge Vela spoke to a local member of the ag community about the change they hope to see.
100%. They do not want to come out of fear of being picked up, even if they're doing it the right way.
Here in Texas, but beyond, while federal immigration authorities say they're only doing their jobs. Just 40 miles or so south of the Dallas hustle and bustle.
Row crops, hay production.
Sits Lee Calvert's 2,000-acre Ellis County family farm.
My father helps me, obviously. My little sister helps. My wife, huge help. I've got 3 sons, and they're coming along and doing what they can.
Calvert knows he's lucky not having to rely on farm hands to check the chores off, because those who do say absenteeism among hired migrant help has disrupted their entire operations.
Left alone cleaning the debris from Thursday night storm. He says people are afraid to show up to work and believes the country's food supply could be impacted if this continues.
It could be to where we lose the window of planting and getting our ground ready. And even then, I mean, why plant if we can't even harvest? You know, and me and my family harvest by hand ourselves, but the amount that we need to in order to cover that cost of growing, we have to have much broader personnel than just family hands-on.
Billman says migrants help maintain and prepare the land for planting.
Livestock don't wait. Cows need to be milked twice a day, chickens fed, pigs cleaned, stalls maintained. When a dairy loses half its crew to a raid, it's not just the business that suffers, it's the animals. There have been reports of cows suffering from mastitis, chickens starving, and even animals dying after prolonged neglect following a workforce disruption. Farmers, many of whom vote conservative, are calling out these raids, not for political reasons, but for survival.
They see somebody from INS roll up, well, they just don't show up. They're scared to come to work.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller tells Fox 4 dairy farmers have been hit the hardest.
But on a dairy, those cows, they never stay milked. You milk them 3 times in a 24-hour period. So if the crew doesn't show up, these dairymen go into panic mode.
Are you a U.S. citizen? We have documents to be here.
Recent video posted to immigration rights groups' social media channels shows federal agents conducting raids on California farms. President Trump in the last week briefly paused this type of enforcement.
Yesterday, President Donald Trump acknowledged his immigration policies are affecting U.S. farmers and says he's considering an executive order to help farmers stay afloat. Our Jorge Vela spoke to a local member of the ag community about the change they hope to see.
100%. They do not want to come out of fear of being picked up, even if they're doing it the right way.
They're being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have. And I think we can't do that to our farmers, and leisure too, hotels. We're going to have to use a lot of common sense on that.
Within a handful of economic sectors which rely heavily on migrant labor, like agriculture, then it was back to business.
The next morning.
We're enforcing everywhere. In other words, the president has said if you are an illegal immigrant into this country, you ought to voluntarily go back and come through the proper channels.
The next morning.
We'll do large deportations from Springfield, Ohio. Large deportations. We're going to get these people out. We're bringing them back to Venezuela. He told Biden he's not accepting anybody back. They moved all their criminals. Not all of them, but the rest are moving in now. They emptied their jails in Venezuela, emptied their criminals, emptied the nests. They call them nests of bad people. They're all now in the United States, and they're now taking over cities. It's like an invasion from within. We're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country, and we're going to start with Springfield and Aurora.
Folks like Lee Calvert agree there's no place in America for migrants with violent criminal backgrounds, but wishes there was more gray area.
And I think there needs to be a distinction made and a pathway for the people that do want to come here, obey our laws, integrate into our societies, work in our factories, fields, wherever.
So the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that more than 40% of the nation's farm workers are undocumented. Steve?
All right, Casey Stegall.